In the following clip, a family lives on a street where something unsettling has become routine. Almost every night, right around 3 a.m., all the dogs on the street begin barking and howling at once. Not one or two, but every dog, reacting as if something unseen is moving through the area. Most families say that when they peek through their windows, they see nothing at all. No people, no animals, nothing out of place. Yet some neighbors wake up in the morning to find footprints outside their homes, even though security cameras never capture anyone walking by. One morning, the man in this video was home alone when he started hearing strange noises coming from his kitchen. Watch.
Pati fue a dejar a Rafita y escuché que alguien anda allá abajo. No estoy seguro, pero creo que la luz de la cocina está prendida o se prendió. Voy a ver qué onda. Ahorita estoy solito. No manches, creo que sí está prendida. Ay, güey, sí está prendida. Yo la apagué, les juro que yo la apagué cuando salí del baño. Y de hecho la puerta estaba cerrada. Hola. ¿Alguien está ahí? Hey. Hola.
Toward the end of the video, a disturbing grunt and something wailing can be heard. That's when the family realized that whatever had been triggering the dogs at 3 a.m. might no longer be confined to the street. On another morning, the same man went down to use the bathroom when this happened. Watch closely. The sound of footsteps can be heard, almost rhythmic, like someone moving or dancing just out of view. Some believe this could be a roaming entity, something that doesn't stay in one place and instead moves through neighborhoods, passing from street to street, home to home. Others think the constant attention this family has been giving it, watching, talking, reacting, may have unintentionally drawn whatever it was closer, allowing it to shift from the street into their house. But before things escalate any further, the family is now actively seeking answers. So what do you think? Was this always heading toward their home? Or did noticing it invite something inside? Now, in this next video, a man who works night shifts at a school shares a story that slowly turns unsettling. Part of his job is simple but strict. Before leaving, he must switch off every light, check the restrooms, make sure no taps are running, and confirm the building is completely empty. But one morning, he gets a call saying several lights were left on, along with a tap running. Confused, because he knows he checked everything, he starts documenting his routine. Night after night, he records himself turning off the lights and walking out. Yet, somehow by morning, the lights are back on again. As word spreads, teachers and staff begin opening up about strange things they've noticed over the years, doors opening on their own, and sounds echoing through empty halls. But one detail stands out above the rest. Multiple people claim they've seen a young girl wandering the hallways at odd hours, usually when everyone should be in class. One night, while recording his final walkthrough, something happens that seems to connect everything. Watch closely.
Bueno, miren, en esta área es donde supuestamente miran una niña o han visto una niña. Tanto maestros como otros trabajadores de aquí del lugar dicen que miran una niña. Uy, ¿escucharon eso? ¿Escucharon? Entonces... uy, güey. Vámonos. Vámonos.
If you focus on the left side at the end of the hallway, something appears to peek out, then vanish. Moments later, he begins to hear things, like someone else is there with him. Now he's left wondering, was the girl teachers have been seeing the one turning the lights back on all this time? And if so, who is she and why is she still there? Until more updates are shared, this case remains completely unsolved. The following video is a throwback to a chilling moment caught during a camping trip in the Appalachian Mountains. A man is resting when he suddenly hears a voice calling his name. At first, it sounds familiar, too familiar. But what makes this unsettling is that the voice belongs to his brother, a brother who passed away 2 years before this video was recorded. Watch closely.
Ryan, open up.
Who is this?
Ryan, I'm your little brother.
No, you're not.
Ryan, come on, open up.
What is that?
Unlock the door, Ryan. Come on, Ryan.
What's strange is how calm and direct the voice sounds. It clearly claims to be his brother, calls him by name, and even asks him to open the door. The Appalachian Mountains are already known for unexplained disappearances, strange lights, mimic voices, and people reporting the feeling of being watched for hours at a time. Some think whatever spoke that night wasn't trying to comfort him, but trying to gain access. Others believe it could have been something feeding off grief, using his brother's voice as a way in. Whatever it was, the Appalachians continue to be one of the most mysterious places in the world, with stories like this surfacing again and again. And if you've ever experienced something strange out there, you're definitely not alone. This next video was captured inside a family home where, for several nights in a row, they'd been hearing the unmistakable sound of footsteps moving outside their windows. Not pacing randomly, but slowly, deliberately, like someone circling the house, stopping, then continuing again. At first, they brushed it off, thinking it might be a neighbor or an animal passing through, but the sounds kept returning, always late at night, always close to their windows. Eventually, when it started again one night, the mother decided to call the police. While waiting for them to arrive, the footsteps grew closer, and then came the knocking. That's when she grabbed her phone and caught this. Have a look.
Regina, están tocando. Pedro. Ya le hablé a la policía. Y ahorita va a venir. Tráeme un palo, Regina.
¿Qué es eso?
Tráeme algo, tráeme algo. Va a venir ahorita la policía. Corre. ¿A qué estás molestando aquí? Ya te habías ido. ¿Qué quieres? ¿A quién quieres? ¿A quién quieres? ¿A Regina o a quién quieres?
¿Cómo que a mí?
¿A quién quieres? Vete de aquí. Vete de aquí. Se paró.
¿Quién?
¿Quién chingados eres? ¿Quién te mandó?
By the time the police arrived, the house was completely silent. No movement, no sounds, no one outside. The only proof that anything had happened at all was the video she recorded. After this clip circulated online, many viewers began connecting the dots. Some speculated the house may have once belonged to someone who never truly left, pointing out how the activity started with footsteps circling the property, almost like someone retracing familiar ground. Whatever it was, it didn't seem lost, but until more answers surface, this encounter remains deeply unsettling and unresolved. In this next video, a man shares what he describes as some of the most extreme paranormal activity he's ever experienced inside his home. For weeks, things haven't felt right. Objects shift overnight, doors are found open when he knows he shut them, and heavy footsteps echo through the house long after everyone should be asleep. Some nights, the atmosphere feels so tense that he says it's hard to even breathe properly, like the air itself is pressing in on him. One night, he started hearing strange noises, so he grabs his camera and decides to follow the sound, hoping to finally catch whatever's been disturbing him. Watch closely.
Si están escuchando ruidos acá, ahí dejaron de hablar. Hace días que vengo escuchando ruidos acá. Ya no sé cómo... Se cayó de acá un botín. Ya igual a estas alturas miedo ya no tengo. Concha de su madre. Esos hijos de puta. El coche yo no lo dejo ahí aparte. Siempre aparece el coche en cualquier lado. Ya no sé qué. Hijo de puta. Benji, vení acá. Vení, Benji, acá. Se me desvanecen las piernas ya. Ya no sé cómo vivir. Benjamín, vení conmigo. No te vayas, vení. Quédate acá. Quédate acá. Deja de ladrar, quédate acá. ¿A dónde estás mirando, Benjamín? Vení acá, Benjamín. Andate, hijo de puta.
What makes this even more unsettling is that his dog often reacts first, waking him up by barking at empty corners, growling at doorways, and refusing to enter certain rooms. And now, with the figure he catches standing in the doorway, it feels like whatever has been hiding in his house for a long time may have finally revealed itself. Whether this is something paranormal or something far more disturbing, one thing is clear: he's not alone, and for now, this remains a mystery. In the following video, a man says his young daughter has been insisting that her doll moves on its own, even when she isn't touching it. At first, he brushes it off as imagination, until she keeps bringing it up, describing the doll turning or shifting when she's not in the room. Wanting to put the claims to rest, he decides to test it himself. He places the doll on a flat surface, sets up a camera, and stays nearby to make sure nothing interferes. Watch closely. After the video surfaced, many were quick to say someone must have pulled it with a string or something, but the man insists he was home alone at the time and standing directly in front of the doll when it happened. No strings, no pets, no one else in the room. That's when speculation starts pouring in. Some believe it could be a delayed mechanical shift inside the doll. Others argue that unexplained movement is often one of the earliest signs people report before activity escalates. So was it a trick of physics, or something reacting to being watched? You decide. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the historic Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater. Earlier that night, he captured a brief but chilling moment. A pale figure, believed to be the infamous woman in white, peeking out from behind the curtain. Shaken but focused, Ian decides it's best to call it a night. But just as he's wrapping up his video, something unexpected happens. Watch closely.
And what the that was a piano. I was about ready to stop recording. Hello? Oh, there it is. That's the piano. I just heard that. But look at this thing, it's completely shut. How could that happen? It's not one of those player pianos, is it? I doubt it. This thing looks ancient. What does that say? Mabel's piano? What? No freaking way, this is her piano. That is insane. Holy shit, and I just heard it.
After hearing this, a disturbing thought hits him. For years, locals have whispered that Mabel herself still lingers here, especially near the piano. Some believe she appears when investigators are about to leave, as if she doesn't want to be alone again. But instead of assuming, he decides to ask directly. Watch what happens next.
Could you play a song? I bet you're an amazing piano player. I tell you what, if you play one single note, I will be satisfied. If you could just play one single note. Oh my God! I just saw that! That was that key! Oh, holy shit! She's literally playing the piano! Thank you so much, Mabel. That was that key right there. That was the key right there she just played.
Whether this was Mabel reaching back through time or something else entirely remains up for debate. But moments like this are why the Mabel Tainter continues to be one of the most chilling locations Ian has ever explored. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a family went to check out an apartment they were considering renting. But within minutes of stepping inside, something happened that none of them could explain. Watch this.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm scared of that. That's why I walked it.
Bubby, you stay with us.
I'm going down. Who's that?
Ooh, it's purple.
You want this room,
It's Harry Potter themed.
Asides the fact that an unidentified voice suddenly whispered Jadis, viewers quickly pointed out something else that seems far more disturbing. There's a particular corner of the house that gave almost everyone watching the same unsettling feeling. It's the kind of spot that looks normal at first, but the longer you stare at it, the heavier it feels. Some viewers claim they could see faint, human-shaped figures shifting in the shadows. Others said that even through a screen, the corner looked wrong, almost like someone, or something, was standing there quietly, waiting for them to step closer. And then there's the little boy. The moment he said he was scared, a lot of people took that seriously, not because he sounded dramatic or confused, but because children are known to be extremely sensitive to things adults can't perceive. So, between the mysterious voice calling out a name, the strange corner that unsettled so many viewers, and the child's immediate reaction, many believe the family got all the signs they needed. Whether they listened or not, though, that's something everyone is still waiting to know. In this next clip, a family who had been dealing with several nights of unexplained knocking finally made the mistake that so many paranormal experts warn people about. They opened the door. They didn't see anyone there, no footsteps, no cars parked outside, but ever since that moment, their normal days have looked nothing like normal. Watch this. First, you see the chair rocking, as if something was sitting there and deliberately trying to be noticed. But the moment the man reached out to stop it, something else in the room reacted, like whatever was inside that house was saying, "If you stop me here, I'll just move somewhere else." And this is the exact pattern people online pointed out. Every time they try to interfere with one activity, another one starts up right behind them. It's like the presence in that house is trying to show dominance over the entire space. And judging by how effortlessly these objects move, and how quickly the activity escalates, whatever this is, it doesn't seem ready to leave anytime soon. On March 8th, 2023, Casey Lee was home with her family when her son suddenly ran out of the hallway, trying to get his dad's attention. He kept pointing, insisting that his father had to come see something. Watch.
This snack will go international. International. That looks good though, dude. We gotta try that. Alright, start this video. Break the ice. We're gonna break the rice. Slow down, some of the rice. Oh, no, that's sick. That was insane. Boy, that's amazing. Wow. Okay, let's go. That's amazing. That feels so trippy too. Yeah, cool. Oh, you're righteous. Yeah. Down your oil. But I can't grab all these. I'm doing it. What? Oh, yeah. No. That's so satisfying. Yeah, that is. Like, ghost. A ghost? That looks amazing. Where? That took. Fuck that shit.
Go down.
Look at who?
Go.
What ghost?
It's in there.
What's that?
Go get him.
No.
What does the ghost look like?
What's that?
Like that? Where is he?
In there.
And where?
In there.
Here?
Uh-huh.
Further? Is he here? In front of me? Over there? Where? Which way?
In there.
In that room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going in there.
Why go see?
No, I don't know. I mean, you do whatever you want, bud. Want me to turn the light on in the hallway?
Come in there.
Huh?
No, go in there.
There's no ghost in there? Not anymore because the hiding it? Find it.
Come here. Go.
I think we're good. Is it a big ghost or a little ghost?
Big ghost.
A big ghost?
Yeah.
Is it a boy ghost or a girl ghost?
Big ghost.
Big ghost.
In there. We're almost there.
The boy was way too focused for them not to take him seriously, and according to Casey, this isn't the first time he's claimed to see something that no one else noticed at first. One example she gave was from a few months earlier, when he told her there was someone sitting by the shoe rack. They brushed it off as imagination, until the motion-activated light by the rack flicked on by itself, followed by the sound of something shifting across the tiles, exactly where he had pointed. After that moment, they learned to stop doubting him so quickly, which is why this latest incident is starting to bother them more than they expected. Casey says that the very next day after this clip was recorded, both of their dogs started barking ferociously at the same corner of the house, right at the end of the hallway where her son kept staring. Whatever her son saw, the animals definitely sensed it too, but until Casey shares more updates, this case remains completely unsolved. Now, in this next clip, TJ has recently adopted a deep fascination for haunted dolls, and over the past year, she's slowly built an entire collection, each doll with its own energy, history, and personality. Every now and then, she documents her new life living with these dolls, and although many people follow her page out of curiosity, most didn't expect her newest update to be this unsettling. Watch.
What's going on down there?
This clip quickly caught the attention of other collectors who started asking, how long did it take for her dolls to get comfortable enough to do this? They explained that many of their dolls stay completely silent for months, sometimes years, and that the quiet ones often make them the most nervous, because spirits that stay still for too long usually do so while observing the environment, adjusting, and waiting. To answer everyone's question, TJ gave a detailed response. Honestly, over a year. I had to really build a close relationship with them to get the activity I'm getting now. It was definitely not always this high. Things only started picking up when they felt like they knew me well. Her comment opened up another wave of debates. For now though, TJ insists she's comfortable with her dolls and isn't afraid, but viewers can't help but wonder if that's because she truly feels safe, or because whatever's attached to those dolls has already settled in more deeply than she realizes. In the following video, we have a man who claims he lives in a haunted house. And after months of documenting the activity, viewers finally traced the cause back to an African mask hanging in his home. But like most people who have already grown attached to something they own, he's been in complete denial. Friends have told him to get rid of it, viewers have begged him, but he always brushed it off, until things escalated way beyond the point of coincidence. Watch. First, it was a single loud bang. Then the wind chime swayed, and seconds later, the cupboard door slammed shut on its own. Everything seemed connected, almost as if something was moving through the house in a straight line, starting with the bang, triggering the chime, and ending with the kitchen cupboard. But what really convinced viewers that this has nothing to do with the house and everything to do with the mask was what happened next. Because the activity didn't stop at harmless noise, it grew aggressive. Watch this. The knife flew off and almost landed directly on his leg. And that wasn't the only incident. He's been waking up at 2 or 3 a.m. to scratching sounds on the walls, footsteps pacing around his bed, and sudden drops in temperature that make the room feel freezing cold. People in the comments use this as the final push to warn him again. It's the mask, take it down, remove it from your home before something even more dangerous happens. And after everything he's experienced, especially now that he's getting hurt, hopefully this time he finally believes them. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at one of the most unsettling situations a young family has ever had to deal with. For weeks, they've been reporting strange disturbances happening only at night. Small things at first. Toys turning themselves on, footsteps in the hallway when everyone was asleep, and the baby monitor picking up faint whispers that definitely weren't coming from the parents. But recently, something changed, and whatever is happening now seems to be focused on their daughter. Every night, right after they put her to bed, she does the strangest thing. Watch this. You can hear the little girl, who is supposed to be fast asleep by this time, suddenly laughing in this almost diabolical, unsettling tone. And the way she stares, her eyes reflecting the infrared light like she's locked onto something none of us can see. That alone had viewers saying this doesn't look like normal sleep behavior at all. Some parents in the comments said this reminded them of episodes their kids had during extreme night terrors, but others are convinced this goes way beyond that. Now the parents are completely torn. They're not sure if they should call a priest, bring in a paranormal team, or just pack up and leave the house entirely. But with how quickly these episodes are escalating, doing nothing doesn't seem like an option anymore. What do you think they should do? Because whatever this is, it definitely isn't normal. Now, in this next clip, a man falls asleep with his bedroom light completely turned off, only to open his eyes around 1 a.m. and see that it's suddenly on. Watch.
Es la 1 de la mañana, acaban de prender la luz de la sala. Desde que compré ese espejo están pasando todas las cosas raras. A la madre. ¿Qué fue eso? De control ya.
According to him, ever since he brought this toy home, this exact one right here, things inside his apartment have not been the same. At first, it was small things, a faint tapping in the hallway, soft creaks from the living room floorboards even though no one was out there. But with every passing night, the activity grew darker. He says he now wakes up almost every night to strange noises that seem to move from one room to another, like footsteps pacing in slow circles. And twice, something tried to forcefully twist his doorknob while he was sleeping. Not gently, not like a draft, but with the kind of pressure you'd expect from someone trying to get in. Even his cat, usually calm and curious, refuses to go near the toy. Instead, it'll sit in the doorway with its ears pinned back, staring into the darkness as if watching something move that he cannot see. And on the nights when the activity is strongest, the cat becomes restless, pacing from wall to wall, growling low under its breath. People in the comments were quick to say the same thing, be careful what you bring into your home. Sometimes it's not the object itself, but whatever might already be attached to it. And in his case, it's starting to look like he didn't bring home a toy at all. He brought home something that doesn't want to leave. In the following video, a student from the Philippines found herself trapped inside a classroom in the university's ophthalmology building, one of the oldest sections of the entire school and a place many students already claim has a strange atmosphere. According to her, she had stayed behind after hours to finish an assignment when she suddenly realized she couldn't get out. Watch.
Hindi ko alam kung magsisend to, pero kanina pa ako nandito. Walang pintong bumubukas at may topakata tong phone ko. Pag tinatry ko siyang buksan, yung mga pinto, hindi naman siya nakalock, pero ayaw niyang bumukas. Eto, tignan niyo. Parang may humihila sa kabilang dulo. Please, kung makita niyo to, ako si Maxine Cayapado ng MMA 201. Nandito ako sa C401 at nasa tapat ako ng...
She explained that the doors were not locked. They simply wouldn't open, as if something on the other side was gripping the handle and refusing to let go. The more she pulled, the heavier it felt, almost like she was fighting with an invisible force. And right when she started recording a video to show exactly where she was, hoping someone would come help her, that's when the door suddenly swung open on its own. To this day, no one can say for sure what actually happened in that room, and this video remains a mystery. The following clip is about a family we've talked about on this channel before, and if you remember their story, then you already know things got pretty unsettling the first time around. Here's a quick rundown. It all began on random nights when their daughter would suddenly wake up crying, and while they were trying to calm her down, they'd hear someone knocking on their front door. It went on for several nights until the father finally decided to check. And the moment he opened that door, there was a figure standing right outside. After that encounter, the knocking stopped, but the house wasn't the same. Strange movements, electronics acting up, little things happening that didn't feel like coincidences. They prayed, they waited, and after a few months, the house finally settled. No knocking, no shadows, no disturbances. For a while, it seemed like whatever had shown up that night had moved on. But now, months later, the pattern seems to be starting all over again. Watch this. The following video was captured by a group of ghost hunters who decided to explore an abandoned house after several reports suggested something dark was attached to the property. From the moment they stepped inside, they described the atmosphere as heavy, tense, and almost hostile. The kind of place where silence doesn't feel empty, but watchful. Believing the presence to be malevolent, they began praying, hoping to protect themselves and possibly force whatever was there to reveal itself. But according to many paranormal beliefs, prayer doesn't always bring peace. Some say it agitates negative entities, almost like shining a light on something that wants to stay hidden. Watch what happens next.
Bun.
Ești sigur?
Da. Hai, uite acum zic. Ia. Cred în bunul Dumnezeu, Tatăl Altotțitorul, Făcătorul cerului și al pământului.
Oprește-te, oprește! Băi, Alin, uite alea cum fac bilile toate trei.
Știu unde am rămas.
Ea nu va pleca.
Da, știu când va pleca. Tatăl Altotțitorului, Făcătorul cerului și al pământului, care pretutindeni ai și pe toate le împlinești, vistierul bunătăților și dătătorule de viață, vino și ne slăzășluiește întru noi și ne cu toată închinăciunea. Băi, nebunilor, băi!
Fai de capul meu! Nu mai zi, măi, te rog eu!
Ce s-o sparg? Nu s-o sparg nimic. Cum să spargă ceva?
Frate, nimic nu.
Doamne ferește. Dar ce să spargă?
Hai de capul meu!
Dar nu se vede.
Băi, frică, nu mai fă, frate, că murim!
Păi da, bine că s-o auzi spart, dar nu-i spart nimic. Deci vă asigur eu că nu-i spart nimic. Ce să fie spart?
Viewers believe this reaction suggests the presence felt threatened, not comforted by the prayers. Others argue that prayer can act as a form of confrontation, drawing attention from entities that feed on fear or resistance. Whatever the case, the timing is hard to ignore, but until we get more updates about this house, this remains unsolved. Now, in the following videos, a man and his family are convinced they're living with a ghost. In fact, they've gone as far as giving it a name, Ghost Malone, a playful nod to Post Malone, because according to them, the presence feels calm, relaxed, and non-threatening. They say things move around their house almost every night, especially toys, but insist it has never tried to hurt them. Still, many viewers can't help but ask the same question. How long does a spirit stay harmless? Take a look at what a typical night in their home looks like.
It's 3:30 in the morning. I swear on my life. For freaking toy cars. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. No. No, sir. No, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whether to wake Elizabeth or somebody call Justin Nunley or an exorcist. I don't know. I mean, I'm not scared, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shaking. So I'm just gonna leave it there till the morning for Elizabeth to come play with it. And it's not electronical, y'all. There ain't no damn motor in that thing. I feel so weird and out of place right now. I don't know if it's still there. To be truthful, I'm thinking about just leaving Elizabeth in Revelation and going somewhere for the night. I don't know what to do. Let's check on her. You still there? Pirates of the Caribbean's getting good. I'm not scared. I'm just kind of freaked out because, like, it's friendly. Has it thrown it?
What immediately stands out is the toy car. It has no batteries, no electrical components, and yet it moves on its own. Some viewers tried to brush it off as coincidence, uneven flooring, or leftover momentum, but those explanations quickly fall apart when you realize this isn't a one-time event, and it's not just one toy. Similar things have happened repeatedly, and after seeing this clip, many people weren't convinced that whatever was in the house was truly harmless. Some believe genuinely good spirits are rare, and when they do exist, they don't usually interact directly with the living. Concerned viewers suggested the father try certain cleansing methods to see how the presence would react, a way to test whether the entity was truly peaceful or simply pretending. So the next morning, he followed some of those suggestions. Watch what happened.
I actually fell asleep, and this is what I woke up to. Elizabeth. Baby. Hey.
Goodbye.
Okay, no, for real, like... So, what are we doing? Oh. Okay. Are you... Somebody said salt. Hold on.
I don't know if you're supposed to draw a circle around it.
Well, it's a half circle, but I don't think you're supposed to do anything else. I don't know. Y'all got suggestions, let me know.
Instead of focusing on the fact that the holy water, salt, and prayers didn't seem to drive anything away, viewers noticed something far more disturbing. If you look closely at the doorway, you can see what appears to be a small, childlike figure standing completely still. That single detail sent chills through the comment section, but that raised another unsettling question. Why did the cleansing attempt seem to have little to no effect? Well, things escalated beyond toys. Watch this.
Are you there? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Well, that's one of the things that I've discovered.
Whenever the house goes quiet, all he has to do is ask, "Are you there?" And something moves in response. At that point, many viewers said it could no longer be coincidence. But what troubled people even more was the interaction itself. A lot of paranormal believers warn that acknowledging a spirit gives it energy. Others say responding invites it closer, strengthens its presence, or even allows attachment. Despite all of that, the family continues living as normal, still convinced it isn't dangerous. One night, they didn't only check if it was there, they tried to communicate with it. Watch closely.
So we are all sitting here, enjoying our Taco Bell, right? And Ghost Malone was over there shaking the door a second ago. Ghost Malone, if you are still around, do something.
It was a sign.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nonchalant. Alright, so ironically, I'm watching Ghostbusters, right? Ghost Malone, Ghosty. Yo. Are you kidding? Alright, so I've been asking Ghost Malone some questions. Okay, so 1 time if you're there, 2 times, or I guess no times if you're not. Definitely there, okay. Are you friendly? Okay, okay. Do you like Ghostbusters? No? Okay, do you like movies? Okay, okay. Alright, just not Ghostbusters, I guess it's insulting. Are you here to cause harm? Okay. Okay. Man, I wish I knew Morse code. We'd try that. Are you an older spirit? Okay, but not a bad spirit. Okay. Is there more than one of you? Okay.
Many believe dark entities don't reveal their true nature immediately. Instead, they appear calm, friendly, even playful. A tactic often compared to the Annabelle doll, which was first believed to be harmless before far darker activity followed. Because of this, viewers are increasingly convinced that whatever this entity is, it may be growing stronger, not kinder. People urge the family to stop interacting, cleanse the home thoroughly, and protect themselves before things escalated further. But none of the things happening bothers them. Take a look.
So, a couple weird things have happened tonight. Like my mom's painting over there has moved. And Ghosty. Ghost Malone. You there? Don't judge the trash. It's trash day. Ghosty. Okay. Maxie, what was that? Huh? So we're sitting here. Revelation here, is it?
Hi, Maxie.
It should also be noted that we've had several offers from paranormal people to come here and whatnot. We're down, but there's been a few of them that are private profiles, minus the big ones you guys have suggested. Nobody's reached out, but I don't know. I might take offers for people to just come stay the night so you can see whether it's real or not for yourself. I don't know. But yeah, I am gonna take a list of questions. I've been writing down in the comments all the questions you guys have for Ghost Malone. And then we're going to do the Stranger Things light or dog button things to see if that does anything.
This time, even the dog reacts. As the playpen moves, the dog retreats into its cage, a response many believe animals only show when they sense something threatening. According to viewers, a presence strong enough to move objects, frighten a dog, and respond intelligently isn't something to take lightly. Some believe this entity was never harmless, just patient. But until the family shares more updates, all anyone can do is hope the situation doesn't turn dangerous. Now, in this next video, a guy who goes by the username Mosh moved to Appalachia, and according to him, he hasn't had a single peaceful moment since. Appalachia is one of those places people constantly warn you about. Dense forests, winding back roads, long stretches with no cell service, and generations of folklore that all seem to agree on one thing. If something calls out to you out there, you don't answer. Many believe the land itself holds onto things that don't like being disturbed. Mosh has been documenting his experiences both inside his home and outside, and in several of his earlier videos, paranormal investigators and longtime viewers suggested he might be dealing with what are often called jokester spirits, entities that don't immediately harm you, but thrive on fear, confusion, and reaction. They mimic sounds, footsteps, and voices just enough to make you question your sanity. One night, while walking, Mosh suddenly got the overwhelming feeling that something was following him. Not just a sound, but a presence, staying just out of sight. Trusting his instincts, he checked the camera he installed in the house and saw this. Watch. After reviewing the footage, many viewers say this explains a lot. The unexplained footsteps, the whispers he's heard when no one is around, and that constant sense of being watched. Some believe whatever this is has been testing boundaries, slowly revealing itself once it realized Mosh was paying attention. Others think it's feeding off his fear, waiting for the moment he reacts or responds. So, what do you see in this video? And more importantly, what do you think has been following him this whole time? The following video is shared by a man who had previously documented how everything in his apartment changed the moment he brought home a set of old toys. Almost immediately, the space felt different. Knocking sounds began echoing through the walls, objects shifted on their own, and at times the presence felt so overwhelming that he would lock himself in another room out of fear. But this next video unsettles viewers for a different reason. This time, none of the dolls or toys are visible anywhere in the apartment, and yet the activity continues. Watch closely.
Son las 2 de la mañana, se están escuchando ruidos en la sala. Está moviendo la silla, raza. La madre. Escucho algo acá, raza. Un balón de desodorante. ¿Qué estará pasando, anda? Madre.
Whatever is disturbing this apartment hasn't left with the objects themselves. Many believe spirits don't always stay attached to the item that brought them in. Some think the toys may have acted as a doorway, something that allowed an entity to anchor itself to the space rather than the objects. Others argue this could be residual energy, replaying moments of disturbance long after the source is removed. But there's also a darker theory, that removing the items only angered whatever was invited in. But what do you think? Now in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian investigates the Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater, a location widely considered one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin. The theater was commissioned in 1889 by Captain Andrew Tainter and his wife Bertha in honor of their late daughter Mabel Tainter, who tragically died at just 19 years old. In life, Mabel was deeply passionate about music and the arts, and because of that, no expense was spared in the theater's design. From its grand architecture to its detailed interior, the building was meant to preserve her spirit and legacy. While exploring the theater late at night, Ian begins taking photographs inside the theater room when he suddenly hears a loud bang echo through the building. Tracing the noise, Ian follows it to an office once used by Reverend Henry Maxson. Watch closely.
That's his old chalkboard right there. And that is his handwriting. They've kept that preserved. That must have been from his last lecture before dying. Father, if you are indeed in here, could you tap on your chalkboard? Make a tapping sound like you're writing on it. I would be amazed if you did that. What the? That sounded like paper being moved. It was on this desk. Like, whoa, you see that? Dude, look at that. That has to be it. Look at that, it's literally hanging off of the table.
Maxson wasn't just any figure connected to this place. He was the Unitarian pastor who originally convinced Andrew and Bertha Tainter to build the memorial for Mabel. When the building officially opened in 1890, it served not only as a theater, but also as a community center and the permanent home of the Unitarian Society of Menomonee. Maxson himself gave the presentation address at the building's dedication, and for years, Sunday services were held directly on the theater's stage, with Maxson preaching to the congregation. Before leaving the office, Ian decides to set his camera down, leaving it recording as he steps away. What happens next is unsettling. Did Ian manage to capture the ghost of Reverend Henry Maxson still sitting at his desk, tied to the theater he once served? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, a man had just moved into a new apartment, hoping for a fresh start. But by the second night, things already felt off, and small details began piling up. Unexplained creaks in empty rooms, the feeling of being watched when the lights were off, and moments where the air felt strangely heavy, like someone else was sharing the space with him. One night, as he was getting into bed, he started hearing faint whispers. Not loud enough to make out words, but clear enough to know it wasn't coming from inside. When he grabbed his phone to record and prove to his friends, who hadn't been taking him seriously, the whispering stopped almost immediately, but the camera still caught something. Watch. When he reviewed the footage, he saw a shadowy figure, and what makes this more unsettling is that it didn't stop there. By the third day, then the fourth, the activity continued. Objects seemed slightly out of place, doors felt heavier than usual, and the same uneasy presence kept returning, especially at night. One evening, while recording another video to explain what had been happening, something interrupted him mid-sentence. Watch closely.
Okay, so this is my apartment, guys. So I moved here in around July, and at least I think around, it was like last week I moved in. And the first day it was nice and peaceful and everything was good, but then, you know, while I was here in my bedroom, it's nothing, but all of a sudden lately I've been having very strange, kind of some weird paranormal type stuff where the doors opening by itself. And that was actually the second night. It was the second night. Then I think it was around 11. I was kind of in my office, but I was going to bed, and all of a sudden I look at this weird looking creepy apparition that was kind of exactly around right in the same air corner. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh crap. So I kind of ran. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it had hands, and I saw half of his face, but it looked like white ghostly. I don't know what it is, but very weird. It was very weird. But then all of a sudden, it's just crazy. Oh snap. What the heck? What the heck? Hello? What the heck? Y'all see that? Man, that thing drove by itself, and there's no wind drag or nothing. Look at the fan, look at that fan, the fan working. What the heck? Y'all saw that, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's doing it by itself. Nobody there. The freak is wrong with this? And to me, sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, but the air ain't on. And it usually come on. But goodness gracious, that was just weird. But this is what I'm talking about. And then 2 days ago, I decided, because I didn't get no videos from last week when I moved in. This time I had to do the video it was on Thursday. And I had my tripod, and I was like, okay, let me put this down and see what happens. Then all of a sudden, here comes a weird figure coming through the hallway. Coming through the dark hallway like it's crazy. Right in that corner. But the camera flipped the other way. It was the other way. So it was actually that way. But it was in that corner. So it's very weird. Well, very creepy stuff happening in my apartment. But I'm gonna need some parallels out here. Man, I'll let you know if I see anything strange up there. But what you just saw, I think that there was no, I ain't seen, I don't know, I did not see nothing, and it just opened by itself. Nothing.
Some believe this suggests whatever is in the space doesn't just observe, but reacts when acknowledged. Others think it may be tied to the apartment itself, possibly something left behind by a previous tenant. Whether it's a shadow entity, residual energy, or something feeding off attention, one thing is clear. He's convinced he's not alone in that apartment. And if the activity has already escalated this quickly, the real question is, what happens next? In this next video, a woman discovers something deeply unsettling on her own phone, a video she has absolutely no memory of recording. Before you watch it, here's a quick backstory. She found this video exactly 2 weeks after someone very close to her passed away unexpectedly. And what makes this even harder to ignore is the fact that this was his home too. Watch closely. In the video, you can hear what sounds like a male voice softly singing, almost like a lullaby. The tone isn't aggressive, it's calm and gentle, and that's what unsettles people the most. Some viewers believe the voice is trying to comfort her, a quiet way of saying he's okay, that he's still around, watching over her. Others think it's something far more troubling, that he may be stuck, unable to move on, and this was his attempt to reach out for help in the only way he could. A few even suggest it could be an emotional imprint, something left behind in the house during a moment of intense grief. What adds another chilling layer is the time this video was recorded. The video was recorded at 2:59 a.m., a time often associated with heightened paranormal activity. A moment when the house is silent, the mind is vulnerable, and unexplained things seem more willing to surface. So was this a message meant only for her? A final attempt to communicate? Or is this something else entirely? Something that simply chose her phone, her home, and that moment in the night? You decide. Now, this next video was captured inside an old school by a man who works there overnight. Once everyone leaves, his job is to walk the halls, check classrooms, and make sure everything is locked and in place before morning. On one of those quiet night shifts, he started hearing sounds coming from the bathroom, the kind of sounds you'd expect if someone was actively using it: water running, movements, and subtle echoes. At first, he waited outside, assuming someone would eventually come out, but minutes passed, and no one did. When he finally decided to go in, this is what he saw. Watch.
Vámonos de aquí. Mi trabajo es checar que ya no haya nadie. Apagar todo y cerrar todo. Es una escuela. Una escuela de noche. En Estados Unidos, que tiene muchos años esta escuela ya. Es una escuela muy viejita.
Your first thought would be faulty plumbing or pressure buildup in an old building, but you see, in a place meant to be completely empty, it felt less like a malfunction, and more like something replaying a routine that never really stopped. But I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. In the following video, a man named David shares his disturbing experiences and how the activity inside his house has left him completely confused and overwhelmed. At first, he believed he was dealing with a spirit trapped inside one of his dolls, a presence that seemed distressed, emotional, and very much in pain. Watch this.
¿Vieron cómo se movió la cortina? ¿Vieron cómo se movió la cortina? Y no es aire, o sea, tengo ventiladores y todo. Todo está cerrado aquí. Así no parece que me ve. Pero así sí. Y así es como me acuesto. ¿Pero quién es Daniel? Alexa, enciende la luz del baño.
Muy bien.
¿Qué? Pero no entiendo por qué aquí. No entiendo por qué en este lugar. Miren. Cambio de posición, ¿vieron? No me había dado cuenta. Estoy así, volteo a ver y ya me está viendo así. Vean la diferencia de cómo me estaba viendo cuando recién estaba levantándome a cómo está ahorita.
After seeing this, it's easy to understand why so many people believe the spirit inside the doll is suffering. In the clip, the voice coming from the doll sounds strained and desperate, repeatedly crying out the name Daniel, almost as if it's calling for someone who never came back. Some viewers believe the spirit may be asking for forgiveness, while others think it's reliving a traumatic moment, stuck in a loop it can't escape. What makes the moment even more unsettling is the fact that before David left the bathroom, the doll was like this. Then when he came back to the room, the doll was facing David directly. But things didn't stop there, and soon, it became clear that David wasn't just dealing with a doll and a voice anymore. One night, he hears a noise coming from outside and decides to investigate, hoping to finally get some clarity. Here's what he captured.
Otra vez, trabajando. Son las 12:31 de la noche. Y otra vez. Y estoy solo. Ya me cansé, en serio, ya me cansé. Ya estoy cansado. Otra vez. Se ve la otra vez, ¿se acuerdan? No hay nada, me subo rápido. ¡Ay, no mames! El celular. ¿Lo vieron? Estaba ahí. No mames, ya no sé qué hacer. ¿Qué es esto, cabrón?
If you look closely, a terrifying figure suddenly appears out of the darkness, startling David completely. Some believe this figure could be a manifestation of the same spirit, no longer confined to the doll, while others think David may have attracted something far more sinister by acknowledging it for too long. And after this night, the focus of the haunting shifts entirely. Now, every single night, David begins hearing someone knocking at his door, and it's becoming unbearable. Watch this.
Son las 4:16 de la mañana. Recuerden que yo me duermo con la tele encendida. Escuchan, ¿no? Para los que me ponen en los comentarios acerca de que hago cortes en la cámara o que se ocultan en algún lado, qué sé yo, personas. Mi hermana estaba ahí porque la estábamos cuidando de algo que le pasó. No, nada. Nada. No sé. Ya déjenme en paz.
This time, he sees something different. Instead of a man, it looks like a woman. At this point, David is completely confused. First, a spirit crying out Daniel, then a frightening male figure outside his home, and now, a woman. Many viewers believe it's all still connected to that one doll, that the doll may have acted as a doorway, allowing multiple entities or manifestations to pass through, each presenting itself in a different form. One night, desperate to distract himself from the growing tension in the house, David sits down to watch the popular sitcom Friends. But even Joey and Chandler's jokes couldn't help because he suddenly hears a voice, this time loudly shouting his name. Combined with the fact that his cat has been extremely restless, constantly staring at empty spaces and reacting to things David can't see, the situation becomes even more concerning. And sometimes when David checks the window, he sees something absolutely terrifying waiting there. A creepy, unnatural-looking figure standing outside after he hears someone knocking on his door. And this is exactly why so many people say you should never open the door when you hear someone knocking, especially late at night. Some believe responding gives whatever is outside permission to enter, while others think it's a test, to see if you'll acknowledge it at all. Whether it's one spirit manifesting in different ways or something darker that latched on through the doll, everything seems confusing. So until David shares more updates, this case remains a mystery. Now in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo exploration through the haunted buildings of Bonanzaville. This time, his next stop is the church. Built in 1890, the South Pleasant Church carries decades of quiet history, but it's also one of the locations visitors find the most unsettling. Many believe the church is haunted by what can only be described as shadowy children. They're often reported darting between pews, appearing briefly near the altar, and then vanishing just as quickly. Some visitors even claim to have found small, dusty footprints on the floor, far too small to belong to an adult, appearing where no one had walked moments before. And if you know Ian well, you'll know that's enough reason for him to go in.
I'd just like to be your friend. My name is Ian, and I'd just like to be friends with anyone in here. Would you like to play? Why do you stay at this church? Where are your parents? Whoa. Hello? I think I finally heard something. Okay, I think I heard somebody over there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Dude, an orb just freaking went flying. Was that you? Are you running around?
During this moment, Ian manages to capture a strange light anomaly on his camcorder. Some believe this could be one of the ghostly children said to dart around this very church, briefly revealing itself before slipping away again. But Ian didn't give up yet. Watch what happens next.
Are you up here? Little boy or little girl? I saw you. Whoa, I just felt something pull on my jacket. It was like right behind me. And it was real low, like a little child. Did you just tug on my jacket? I think I just felt you. It's okay if you did.
At this point, he comes to a conclusion. Whatever is here isn't following him from place to place. Instead, each structure holds onto its own past, its own energy, and perhaps its own spirits. With that realization, Ian finally decides it's time to bring this part of the investigation to an end. But while Ian walks away this time, the spirits tied to these places aren't going anywhere. So the real question is, what happens when the next visitor steps inside? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following clip, an explorer visits Presidio de San Saba in Menard, Texas, a location many believe is haunted not just by legend but by history soaked in violence. Built in the mid-17th century, this Presidio became the site of brutal conflict involving Spanish settlers and Comanche and Wichita tribes. Historical accounts describe violent attacks, torture, and countless lives lost on this very ground. People who never had the chance to leave peacefully. While exploring the ruins late at night, the explorer records with his phone in his right hand, holding a flashlight firmly in his left. As he scans the corner of the structure, something completely unexpected happens. A dark shadow suddenly comes into view. Watch closely.
Here's the room I'm in. There's the K2. There's the REM pod. There's the wall all the way to the corner.
What makes this moment so unsettling is where he's standing. He's backed into a corner with no visible objects nearby that could cast a moving shadow like that. Even more convincing, you can clearly see his hand on camera. The phone is steady in one, the flashlight fixed in the other, and yet the shadow moves in the opposite direction. Viewers also notice something else when pausing the footage frame by frame. For a split second, the shadow appears to have horn-like protrusions, giving it a shape that looks disturbing. That detail alone sparked intense debate online. Considering the violent past of Presidio de San Saba, a place where suffering, fear, and death once filled the air, many believe this wasn't just a trick of the light. Others argue there must be a rational explanation we're missing. So what do you think? Is this simply a shadow playing tricks on the eye? Or did this explorer momentarily capture something that never truly left these grounds? You decide. In this next clip, a man is simply spending time with his child, recording a casual video just to save the moment, something parents do every day without thinking twice. But while he's focused on his daughter, laughing and playing, something else is happening right in front of them, and he doesn't notice it at all. Thankfully, the camera does. Watch closely and pay attention to the blinds.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. That one hurt. Okay, you want me to make buckets now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna catch it.
Oh, you want to catch it and then put it?
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yay! Yeah! You want the small one?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, oh.
This is too small.
Sorry. It's too small.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. No, almost. I mean, you hit SpongeBob though. Yay! Last one. 3, 1.
Seriously, 3.
Huh? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
You should say 3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go. In the basket. In the basket.
Go again.
Okay.
The window is completely shut. There's no visible breeze, and you don't see any fingers or hands reaching through the blinds like someone trying to peek inside. Confused and unsettled, the father decides to check the security camera installed in the room, just to rule out any coincidence. But when he watches the footage back, he sees the exact same thing happen again from a different angle. Viewers began speculating. Some suggested airflow from a vent, others said it could have been pressure from outside the window, or even someone poking the blinds from outside. Many weren't convinced it was paranormal until he shared the next clip. Watch this.
This right here is the room where it actually happened. Okay. So I was just sitting here with my daughter. Well, she was actually on a bed playing with her toys that she always plays with. All of a sudden, I didn't understand what was going on, because the only way you can move the blinds is if you're inside the room. There's no possible way that someone can move the blinds from the outside of the room. There's no possible way somebody can just come up here and move the blinds from the inside.
This video made many people completely abandon logical explanations. The blinds are clearly touched from a height that would require someone to be at least 9 feet tall. There's no balcony, no platform, and no structure outside that could allow a person to reach that high. Wanting to be cautious, the man had his grandmother come over to bless the room. Even after that, though, he refused to let his daughter sleep there alone. During the day, though, she still goes in there to play, because locking the door would only raise more questions. And the answers are something a child her age wouldn't understand.
Okay, so this is the security camera that caught it. This is the whole area that it happened. I don't trust this area at all anymore, so my grandma had it blessed. Also, I don't feel safe in this place anymore at all. It's okay.
Everything seems calm on the surface, but the tension never really leaves. The father says he's constantly on edge, hoping the blessing worked and that whatever caused those movements is gone for good. But then, one evening, his daughter tells him she's seen someone in the room. Concerned, he goes in with her and stays close, just to reassure her. Then, this happens. After this encounter, his confidence completely collapsed. One blessing suddenly didn't feel like enough anymore. He began asking the same questions many parents in similar situations ask. Is this something that needs repeated blessings? Do these things come back? And is there a way to permanently protect a space once something has made itself known? Right now, he's doing everything he can to keep his daughter safe, but he's also searching for answers. If you've experienced something similar, or if you know of a solution that actually worked, this is the moment to share it. Because whatever is happening in that room clearly isn't finished yet. Now, in this next video, we're taken back into the home of a woman who says she's dealt with paranormal activity for years, to the point where it has seriously impacted her life. In the past, she shared that she suffered a concussion, experienced unexplained electrical shocks, and endured months of constant disturbances inside her house. Then, just as suddenly as it all began, everything stopped. For months, her home was completely calm. No noises, no movement, no strange sensations. And she didn't cleanse, bless, or remove anything during that time. The activity simply went quiet on its own. But recently, whatever was there seems to have returned. One afternoon, while she was in the kitchen fixing herself lunch, something happened. Watch closely. According to her, this isn't an isolated incident. She says objects have moved on their own before, including a knife that shifted unexpectedly and at night. Also, while trying to sleep, she has heard low growling sounds coming from inside the house. Viewers who follow her story closely began connecting dots almost immediately. Some believe the sudden pause and return of activity could point to something that goes dormant, then reactivates. Others suggest it may be tied to a specific object in her home, especially one item she's mentioned before, a doll she bought at a thrift store. Still, without definitive proof or new updates, everything remains speculation. So, until she shares more evidence or finds a clear explanation, this unsettling case remains completely unsolved. The following video was captured somewhere in Mexico, where a man named Dav noticed something deeply unsettling at his best friend's house, a property that is still under construction. For weeks, people living nearby had been complaining about strange things happening around the building. Some mentioned hearing loud noises late at night when no one was supposed to be there. A few neighbors even said they felt watched whenever they passed by the place after dark. One morning, Dav and his friend decided to go check the house for themselves, hoping to put the rumors to rest. Dav stayed outside, keeping watch near the entrance, while his girlfriend Gabriella insisted on going inside. She was excited to document the interior and show their friend how the construction was coming along. Watch closely.
Desde que llegué a la casa le dije a Gabriela que había alguien ahí. Chucho se fue a asomar, no. Y se ve bien puto raro, miren. Tiene la pinche jeta. Tiene los ojos brillosos. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Sí estás grabando? ¿Estás grabando? ¿Y no grabaste nada? Ahorita te enseño el video para que veas. Sobres. Cuidado. A ver, ahorita vemos el video de Gaby. Voy a grabar por si.
The figure Dav saw didn't look like a person who wandered in by mistake. It appeared oddly shaped, standing unnaturally still, and what terrified viewers the most were its glowing eyes. Many people familiar with paranormal folklore pointed out something chilling. Houses under construction are often believed to attract spirits because they're considered unfinished spaces, places without protection, history, or grounding yet. Some say these locations act like open doors, especially when the land itself has an unknown past. Others believe spirits are drawn to new structures because they disrupt old energies buried beneath the ground. So was this just an optical illusion inside an unfinished building? Or did Dav see something that had already been there long before the house was ever built? For now, no one has a clear answer, and this encounter remains deeply unsettling and unexplained. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo exploration through Bonanzaville, an open-air museum made up of fully preserved historic buildings from different eras of North Dakota. While moving through one of the rooms, Ian suddenly hears what sounds like a woman's voice clearly asking, "Who are you?" Startled, he steps inside to see if anyone else is there, or if whatever spoke was still nearby. Watch closely.
Where are you in this room? Whoa. I heard that. Are you on this bed? If you're on this bed, could you move the blankets? I overheard that brothel work used to take place here. Are you, no disrespect, but lady of the night? I heard that again. Are you touching this bed? I keep hearing you. Wow, that was a heck of a string of activity. Jeez, that woman's voice was so clear on here. I still can't believe that. There's no doubt in my mind I was not alone in that room, and I'm not sure who that was. Man, I just feel like a cold breeze just passed me. Did somebody just go in front of me here? That's just like a wicked chill I got there.
Just seconds after Ian exits the room, something strange happens. A mist-like form begins to materialize from seemingly nothing, drifting through the space where the voice was heard moments earlier. When Ian reviews the footage, he can't shake the feeling that what he captured might have been the same presence, possibly the spirit of a woman rising from the bed and passing by him as a cold, unseen presence. Still processing what he's just experienced, Ian moves on to his next location inside Bonanzaville, the Houston Mansion. Built in 1891 on a bonanza farm, the mansion once belonged to David Houston, an inventor, farmer, and poet, and his wife Annie, a respected musician known across the state as the North Dakota songstress. Their life here was filled with creativity and acclaim, but it ended in tragedy. Employees and visitors alike are convinced that David and Annie never truly left. Reports of shadowy figures pacing the hallways, unexplained footsteps, and disembodied voices are common, especially on the second floor. Some claim David's spirit is particularly protective of the home, often frightening off visitors he doesn't approve of. His voice has even been heard muttering the words, "Get out." While inside the mansion, Ian decides to conduct a small test, a quiet attempt to see if either spirit is still present and willing to respond. Watch what happens next.
A pretty interesting tidbit about Annie and David is that they were actually spiritualists when they were alive. And it is said that Annie conducted seances on this very table. I've got a couple of dowsing rods here, and I'm going to see if I can communicate. Annie, are you here? Whoa. Did you see that? Dang. Annie, if that was you, could you separate them? Whoa. Right away. Thank you. I take it you're familiar with these? Yes. Wow. Annie, is it true that you were a spiritualist? Uncross the rods if that's true. Yes. Wow. I heard you were a musician as well. Is that true? Yes, I didn't even have to ask to cross them. Wow, Annie, I'm getting like serious goosebumps right now. Annie, is it true? Is this table your seance table? If it is, could you uncross the rods? Wow. Holy moly. Just to confirm, Annie, could you point these rods towards your seance table? There you have it. I'm gonna move these rods up forward again. Annie, is it okay that I'm here? Are you okay with me visiting? If so, cross the rods. You're not crossing them. Annie, do you want me to leave? Whoa! Dude, I just freaking heard a whisper.
Could that have been Annie's voice finally answering, and asking Ian to leave? Or was it something else entirely? Something that doesn't want anyone wandering the halls of the Houston mansion after dark? Whatever the case, Ian didn't feel welcome anymore. And judging by what he captured that night, maybe he never was. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, a guy is making a quick video to show his sister's fiance just how creepy the crematorium where he works can get after hours. What starts as a casual walkthrough quickly turns into something far more disturbing. Watch this.
Lights, they turn off automatically at a certain hour. And I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna walk you through now. I have a friend that works that he would see and hear things coming from these furnaces when they're burning the bodies. So when I'm walking through here, they usually put the urns out to send to the families. So when I'm walking here at night, I walk right by these urns that they put on these tables here. And then I come down, freaking out. Crazy.
Now, crematoriums already carry a heavy atmosphere. The energy there is said to linger, trapped between the living and the dead. Some even believe places like this can absorb emotions, grief, pain, fear, and release them in strange ways. Others think the constant contact with the deceased could make it easier for spirits to attach themselves to the living, especially workers who spend long nights alone. Now, back to the guy in this video. He's convinced there's a ghost haunting this crematorium, and until someone gives him a better explanation for what he saw, he's not budging from that theory. So what do you think? Paranormal encounter, or something else? You decide. Now, this next video was captured at around 3:15 in the morning, and after what happened, there was no way the guy could go back to sleep. Watch this.
Estaba por entrar a mi casa, son 3:15 de la mañana, y la luz empieza a ser así, no sé. Sinceramente siento que hay alguien acá. No sé por qué lo presiento. Si te querés mostrar, mostrate ahora. Hay alguien sentado ahí. Hay alguien sentado. Mostrate.
Only people who've woken up to the sound of something unexplainable can truly relate to the kind of terror this brings. That feeling of being watched, of knowing you're not alone. And for this guy, it's not a one-time event. Strange things keep happening in his home, often at the same exact hour, like something's deliberately choosing that time to make itself known. But many who followed his story were relieved to find out it wasn't the teddy this time. The same teddy that's moved on its own in several of his earlier videos. But that only made people wonder, what if it was never the teddy? What if whatever's in his home simply uses different objects to get his attention? Or worse, to toy with him? Some say he's dealing with a spirit that feeds off fear, while others think something darker might be attached to the house itself. Until he shares another update, what's really tormenting him remains a mystery. In the following clip, a woman named Jess shares a chilling story, one that's been haunting her for over a decade. Jess lost a close friend named Derek 13 years ago, and ever since then, he's never really left. No matter where she moves, strange things follow. Lights flickering, footsteps in empty rooms, objects shifting on their own. And in her new home, one she moved into just a few months ago, it seems Derek has somehow found her again. Watch this.
Mary, what? He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Mary, he's doing it again. Derek! Hey, Derek! I know you're dude. Derek! Derek! I'm talking to you, man. Stop f***ing me, dude. Calm down, Jessica. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's just Derek. It's just Derek. Hey, Derek. Hey, Derek. What you doing, buddy? I miss you. Derek. What are you doing, buddy? You know I love you. You know I love you. Hey, Derek. Come on, you dumb... What the f...
Now, a lot of people believe Jess might be unknowingly holding on to something that once belonged to Derek, something personal that's keeping his spirit tethered to her. Others think Derek could be trying to communicate, perhaps trying to deliver a message she's missed for over 13 years, something that, once understood, might finally allow him to move on. But not everyone agrees. Some say she's making a dangerous mistake, that what she's experiencing isn't Derek at all, but something pretending to be him, using her grief to gain her trust. A few even suggested she check her attic, where energies tend to gather in old houses, and when she finally did, this is what she found.
y'all wanted me to come up to the attic, okay? This is the wall that y'all saw some shit on. And these are the stairs. Like, my husband has all his clothes, of course. But if you look up there, there's no windows. I'm not going all the way up there because it scares the shit out of me. There's no windows. There's a sofa, some mirrors, a chair, his clothes, but there's no windows up here, okay? There's nothing up here that would have done anything. See? No window. No window. No windows. Nothing. Absolutely nothing up here. Other than like his toolboxes and a chair. I'm not going up here because it's too scary for me. But there are some mirrors, which is weird for an attic. A fan. See, there's no windows. This is my attic. There's nothing up here that could have done that shit. Alright, I'm getting the out of here because it feels weird.
So, is Jess truly being visited by the spirit of her old friend? Or something else wearing his face to keep her believing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Now, in this next clip, we're looking at footage captured inside a daycare in East Tennessee, one that used to be an old church before it was converted. Watch this.
The video I'm about to show you is very disturbing. I'm just gonna let it play for you and then I'll give you the background.
See? Lights go off. Now watch. You're gonna see.
What you just saw was security footage that was sent to me by a woman who worked at a daycare in East Tennessee, Appalachia region. This daycare is actually a very old church that was turned into like a private daycare school. She said that events leading up to this, she was kind of having some weird experiences where she would be in her office after hours and would hear like people walking down the stairs, and then she would go check the stairwell and nobody would be there, or she would hear noises coming from classrooms and open up the door and see nothing. She said she would be the only one on the property at this time because she was in charge of like opening the daycare center, and then she would often stay after hours. So nobody was in the building when she was hearing these noises. On this particular day, she was opening the daycare. She went in that door that you saw at the end of the hall and noticed there was an iPad laying on the ground. This was really odd to her because these iPads are put into this like cabinet area that are hooked on like chargers. And she said they're very secure and they're like sitting up on charging decks, if that makes sense. She thought maybe an intruder came in or something, so she immediately notified the security officer who came and checked the camera footage. And that is the camera footage that you saw. Literally, the way that iPad just flings out of that cabinet is giving me chills right now. In the beginning, I feel like I also saw some kind of an orb object, but I've watched this video so many times and I feel like it's just unexplainable. Tell me what you saw in the video, if you saw the orbs like I did, or if you noticed anything else that's odd, and leave in the comments if you have any weird experiences like this.
The way that iPad flew across the room is hard to wrap your head around. Now here's a bit of context. The woman who shared this video works at the daycare and said there had been a series of strange occurrences long before this day. She'd often stay late in her office and hear what sounded like footsteps coming down the old wooden stairs, only to find no one there. Other times, faint noises would come from the classrooms after hours, toys rattling, drawers opening, whispers she couldn't quite make out. On the morning this footage was recorded, she arrived early and found one of the iPads lying on the floor. Now, she's the one who usually opens the daycare, so at that time, the building should have been completely empty, the iPads locked away in a cabinet as usual. Thinking it might have been a break-in, she called security. Omen people believe it's residual energy from when the building was still a church, that maybe the spirits of those who once gathered there never really left. Others think the conversion of the sacred space might have disturbed something that didn't want to be moved, but what do you think really happened inside that old daycare? In this next clip, a woman was walking down a quiet street late at night when her camera picked up something she couldn't explain. Watch.
Or the sub for you is going to be more. Everything's going up, but our wages aren't going up. Because I'm still seeing wages that are fucking pitiful on Indeed. Oh yay, I can make the same amount of money I made when I was out of high school, you know? Looks like there was a figure just standing right there. That's so crazy. I think it was my own shadow. That happens way too often.
At first glance, it looks like nothing more than a shadow, but take a closer look. The outline, the faint movement, and those glowing eyes staring straight at her. Some viewers think she may have caught a shadow figure, a manifestation often linked to dark energy or spiritual unrest. Others believe it's something far more physical, a creature that thrives in the dark, staying just beyond our understanding. There could be many other explanations for what she saw, like a trick of the light, an animal, or maybe something else entirely. But the idea that it could be something aware of her presence is what makes this clip so unsettling. Because if figures like this can move freely among us, unnoticed and unbothered, it makes you wonder what else is out there when the streets go quiet. So, what do you think she captured that night? And do you believe that some things walk among us? Some seen and others we were never meant to see? Now, in this next clip, a woman named Keys has been dealing with strange activity in her home, the kind that keeps her up at night. But this time, she finally managed to catch something on camera. Watch this.
What is happening right now? First the door was moving, then I heard like talking, and then I keep seeing shadows. And for anyone telling me that I should go out there, yeah, why don't you go out there, please? Oh, it just opened and shut right in front of me. Oh man, I wish I could. Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! I'm freaking out. And before anyone comes at me, it's freaking the middle of October in Pennsylvania. It's freezing out, so I have no windows open. I have one fan that circulates throughout the whole room, and that door has never done that. Like, it's moved on its own, but never just like slammed shut like that. I can't believe I just caught that on camera. What the actual believe I just caught that. And of course I'm alone. Yay me. Fun times.
Whatever that was, it's not the first time she's seen it. Keys says things like this have been happening for months. Objects moving on their own, lights flickering even when the power's stable, and that unsettling feeling that someone's standing right behind her when no one is there. She's tried everything from cleansing rituals to changing rooms, but nothing seems to stop it. And now, after this footage, she's starting to wonder if whatever's haunting her house might be getting stronger. If you've ever experienced something similar, drop your thoughts below. What did you do to make it stop? Because at this point, Keys is running out of ideas and courage. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian visits one of Nebraska's most haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. This place has a long and unsettling history. Years ago, when it was still a sanatorium, a woman named Alice reportedly died during childbirth in the basement. Since then, people say her spirit never left. They hear her crying softly in the hallways at night, sometimes calling for her baby. But here's the disturbing part. During renovations, workers found skeletal remains of an infant sealed inside one of the walls. Many believe it was Alice's child, and she's not the only one said to haunt this place. Guests staying in room 1 often complain about their blankets being tugged off in the middle of the night, or waking up to the sound of faint breathing right beside them. On November 28, 2024, Ian decided to spend the night alone inside the Argo Hotel, hoping to capture proof of what's really happening here. Watch.
That sounded like a lady's voice, right there. I swear to God, I just heard that right behind me. Alice, is that you? She's that ghostly woman that they see wandering around. Could you say something again? I don't know if I'm just losing it, but I swear to God I heard that. I'm not hearing anything else. It's dead quiet. Alice, was that you I just heard? Whoa. There's something standing right over there. It was right behind that couch. There was something literally standing in that photo. It was like a mist or something. But I'm not seeing it anymore. It's completely gone.
So was that Alice still wandering these halls, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a guy named Kyle, who's been dealing with something deeply unsettling in his home. For weeks now, he says he's been hearing strange noises coming from his crawl space every single night, and not the kind of noises you brush off. Some nights it's low growling, other nights it sounds like giggling voices, almost like children playing where no child should be. One evening, he decided to crawl in there with a camera to finally see what was going on, and this is what he captured.
I should not have come here. What the f is that? I'm stuck. I'm gonna try to get out of here.
The harsh grunt, the growls, that haunting, childlike cry echoing in the distance. And if you look closely, it almost seems like there's someone, or something, standing at the far end of the crawl space before shifting out of sight. Viewers have been debating what Kyle encountered. Some believe the mixture of growls and childlike sounds suggests more than one entity in that tight space, something darker paired with something mimicking a child's voice. And a few people pointed out that crawl spaces are usually spiritually dead zones, quiet, forgotten corners of a house, which makes the idea of multiple voices echoing in there even more disturbing. Whatever those sounds were, they weren't normal, and they definitely weren't random house creaks. But I'll let you decide what you think is hiding beneath Kyle's home. Now, this next clip was recorded by an explorer who decided to spend the night inside a house that locals swear is haunted. He'd already heard the stories, voices in empty rooms, footsteps that follow you down the hall, and objects moving when no one's around. Still, he wanted to see it for himself. Around 5 a.m., long before sunrise, he suddenly started hearing unexplained knocks echoing through the house. Watch this. People who've experienced hauntings say knocking is often the first sign that something is aware of your presence and is testing how you'll react. And then there's the belief that knocking inside a haunted house is usually a warning, a way to send a message that you're not alone and you're not supposed to be here, especially in a place known for previous visitors reporting the same thing, knocks with no visible source and always at the exact same hour. So was someone trying to communicate with him? Was he being warned? Or is something else living in that house reacting to his presence? You decide. In this next clip, another group of explorers decided to check out an old abandoned school, the kind of place where every hallway feels frozen in time, and every empty classroom looks like the kids left decades ago and never came back. They were there mainly for the architecture and the eerie silence, and while filming, they had no idea they'd captured something far more unsettling than peeling paint and dusty desks. Have a look. Right there, at the end of the hallway, an apparition that looks like a little girl. It wasn't until later, while reviewing their footage, that they realized what they'd actually caught on camera. Some say kids' apparitions are rarely what they seem, and although it didn't follow them, didn't move toward them, didn't even acknowledge them, the idea that something was silently standing there the entire time makes this clip one of the most chilling discoveries they've captured so far. Now, this next clip is about a lady named Morgan, who's been dealing with a string of unsettling, unexplained events inside her home. For weeks, she's complained about strange activity, lights flickering at odd hours, doors opening slightly on their own, and small objects shifting places when no one was near them. At first, she thought it was electrical issues, until the noises started. So she installed cameras around the house hoping to get answers. Here's what was captured. Right after she posted this footage, Morgan said the noises suddenly stopped, but the lights didn't. They flickered again the next night, this time before she even turned them on, and that's where the mystery begins. The following clip is a follow-up video from Sydney and her sister Gretchen, who rented an Airbnb for a wedding weekend, and ended up getting much more than they paid for. In their previous clip, they documented several strange things happening inside the house, objects shifting on their own, sudden movements near the stairs, and their dog refusing to stay away from that area, sniffing, pacing, and staring like something was standing right there. But the strangest moment was when Sydney slid her phone under the locked basement door, and something yanked it out of her hand. So before they checked out, they asked the host for permission to finally open the basement, just to make sure it wasn't a rodent or something harmless that grabbed her phone. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
She posted the clip online asking viewers what they saw, and some people claimed they heard a voice whisper, "I don't like you." Others pointed out something chilling. Inside the basement closet, there was another door, and instantly, people started wondering, what if something was hiding in there the entire time? Then, when Sydney turned off the basement light, viewers noticed something even stranger. Something standing there in the dark where nothing had been seconds before. Sydney left that basement without the answers she was hoping for, still confused, still unsettled, with more questions than when she went in. And just when they thought they were done with the place, something else happened before checkout that made them draw their own conclusion about that Airbnb. Watch this.
Let me see, baby.
Like also.
They left traumatized, especially after remembering